Should be.
The interesting thing about the Japanese art form, manga, are the eyes. What I find fascinating about them is that the innocence that comes through in them. Now, they say that the Japanese were exposed to American cartoons and adapted the eyes from the Betty Boop cartoons to their own work. And it's so successful that today it's very difficult to sell American comic books in America, or American comic books in Japan, because the normal eyes appear to be so sinister. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about what I call the blooming of the classical world, the politics of the beautiful. A more detailed statement of it can be found in my paper, which is on kiddoart.blogspot.com. And I'll begin with Homer's Iliad. Now, I believe that the story is about the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen, being taken away from her husband by Paris. Now, a war results, and the Greeks attempt to take Helen back. Now, Helen has been referred to as the face that launched 1,000 ships. It is my belief that the problem that exists at that point is the idea of beauty. Now, as the Greeks began to understand the nature of beauty, it presented a number of problems. Now, we look to a much earlier period in France, in a cave in Chauvet, France, where there are these cave drawings that are approximately 45,000 years old, BC. And the drawings consist of basically game animals, over and over and over. But way back in the recesses of a cave, hanging on a stalactite, are the genitals of a female. Now, here I think we see desire, but it is for food and sex. There is no beauty. Until later, we begin to see art being done that is not about game animals. It becomes more metaphorical. We also start seeing jewelry. And jewelry is about self-adornment, making oneself more appealing. Now, the idea, the characteristics in beauty are that it separates itself from its surroundings. It becomes unique. And therefore, it draws one's attention to it. And the overwhelming drive is to possess it, to close the space between it and yourself and possess it. One picks the flower. Now, the Greek for beauty is kelon, and it's interesting, it has a root, kelin, which means to call. So the Greeks recognized that beauty called. It draws you to it. Now, in Plato's Symposium, Aristophanes gives a speech where he talks about the early beginnings of mankind. And at one time, both male and female were united in one being. And they challenged the gods. So the gods split them into two, so as to diminish them, their power. Now, he says that today, even, there is a strong desire to reunite with your other half, to become one again. And this desire is what the attraction of beauty is all about. Now, also in the Symposium, Plato points out that there are two participants in this interaction. One is the beloved, the beautiful, and the other is the lover, the one who pursues and seeks the beloved. Now, he also points out that in this case, the beloved, the beautiful, has all the power. the lover will do anything to get the beloved. And this produces